Good morning. Welcome to Felixstowe Live. My name's Chris. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of March, 2021, and we're getting there towards a bit better weather, aren't we? We've had some decent weather over the last few days and a bit of sunshine, so it's been quite enjoyable. I hope you're all keeping well and staying safe. Okay, what have we got today? Well, we've got a slightly abbreviated programme today, but with some interesting, interesting content. And the first thing I want to just do is wave a flag. We waved this flag yesterday, and I want to wave this flag again today. Here it is. This is the Palace Cinema, and I managed to have a little chat with both Viv and Audrey at the cinema yesterday. And I am delighted with the note we put up yesterday to say they're reopening in May. They hope, if everything remains the same, we should have the cinema back in gear. And we heard from so many people online who were looking forward to cheesy chips and stuff. So I have to say I was really delighted to know that the cinema was going to be back in action. And I think the girls there and the team there are keeping it all primped and polished, and they're doing the same with the bingo hall as well. So bingo fans will be lining up to spend some money and hopefully win some when that reopens again. It's on the 17th of May. Okay, this is Felixstowe Live. If you like what we do, click on like, give us a like. You can always get in touch with us through the comments. And here we are, we've got our first comment. Now, I did know where this man lived. I think he lives in Germany. I'm not absolutely sure. It's Gundala. And a nice day for me. A nice day for you too, mate. It's one of the things that you notice about all the internet media, if you like, is that we do find people all over the world. We've actually got on Felixstowe Live a lot of people from the States, ex-Felixstowe ites or Ovians. Which do you like? Personally, I like Felixstowe-ites because it's what my dad used to say, but it's not as posh, I don't think, as Felixstovians. There you go. Anyway, so the cinema is reopening. We're glad to know on that date, on the 17th. Another one for you, which I think is really good news. This is the old retail post office as run by the post office, which closed, as we all know, couple of years ago when it all moved to WH Smith's. But the shop has now been, I think, relet or resold to the Wool Bar, which has long since said it's going to be moving there. And obviously with COVID and things, they haven't been able to, but they did do a tweet yesterday to say that they're now starting work on updating the old post offices. It's a big site. I hope they're really prosperous in it. And it's one of those local businesses that we want to see more of, don't we? More local businesses doing local business. Okay, now one of the things that we'll be doing over the next coming days, I need your help on this, really. If you're one of those many people I know who are looking at starting your own business, we're going to be doing a little bit about retail businesses and other businesses in the town centre. There have been some changes to planning and planning laws, or planning regulations, if you like, which are going to change the way that the shop market in, I think, most towns works. And I'm going to deal with those in a separate little piece when I've completed a bit more research over the next couple of days. We'll see what happens to that, but I'll let you know what's happening to it. In the meantime, if you have plans to start your own business, I would love to hear from you. You can be as confidential as you like. We're not going to tell the world unless you tell us. But if you tell us that you're starting a business or planning to start a business in the near or medium term, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to be able to actually follow your stages through and actually share some of that with your agreement with the world, because it's great to see people having a bit of confidence in the future. Okay, what else have we got? Well, we've just had another message, and this comes from Marion Bullman, who's been a follower of Felixstowe Live and various other local news enterprises for a long time. It's her birthday day today. She's 25, and actually she's not. She's a little bit older than me, but only a little tiny bit. It's really annoying. There you go. I shan't mention the actual age because it's not fair. There you go. Okay, so what are we doing? Well, we've got one more big story to do for you. One of the things that I'm personally very keen to do and to achieve is to get more understanding of the way that local councils work. One of the things that actually nails me down a bit, I'm not what you could really call a big follower or a big fan of local councils. I think they do their best and I think they have a tough job to do. But the reality is that local councils can so easily get a bit stuck in the same old loop, I think, and they need more new people on board to help get our town, our district, our county, our country into the future. And that means, I think, honestly, we need to get more younger people involved in councils and doing stuff on councils and actually helping to progress our country and our area forward. So last week I had a chat with our very nice mayor, Mark Jepson, who was talking about the late and very great, let's be honest, Cyril Webb. I don't know whether you saw the chat that he had about that. If you haven't seen it, it's still available online. But anyway, I then asked about local councils and why we seem to constantly have the same, if you like, the same reservoir of local councillors. I agreed in part that they're experts, but we do need new blood. So I asked him about this and we managed to have a chat about it, which I'd like to share with you. I'd like to know what you think of what Mark has said, because I think he's pretty on the ball, if you like. See what you think. One of the things that I think would be wonderful is if we had more younger people on the local council, on the district council. Well, I don't know what happened there, but we're going to have another little try at that one and see whether we can get it to work. One of the things that I think would be... Possibly not. Who knows? Okay, one of the things that I think would be wonderful is if we had more younger people on the local council, on the district council and wherever, because the trouble is we seem to always have so many people who have been there 100 years. They do a good job, I'm not knocking them really, they do a good job, but it would be wonderful to have some new people. One of the things that I see really as being the kind of things that stop younger people coming onto councils in general is if we had more younger people
lack of understanding of
on the local council, on the district council and wherever, because the trouble is we seem...
time, because as a councillor you can put as much or as effectively little in as you want. And sometimes I think there's a strong thought you have to be affiliated to a political party. Now at town council level, although there are the three main parties, it's for most of us it is about doing the best for Felixstowe. So
there we go. Okay, and this is me again. I'm really sorry about this. I don't know what's gone wrong with that. It's one of those things that sometimes happens, I'm sad to say. And I'm going to try and just run it again. Give me a moment and we'll just try and get back to young Mark Jepson and see whether we can get his interview to play. Let's try. One of the things that I think would be wonderful is if we had more younger people on the local council, on the district council and wherever, because the trouble is we seem to always have so many people who have been there 100 years. They do a good job, I'm not knocking them really, they do a good job, but it would be wonderful to have some new people. What do you see really as being the kind of things that stop younger people coming onto councils in general?
I think there's perception, a lack of understanding of what we do, a lack of understanding of the time, because as a councillor you can put as much or as effectively little in as you want. And sometimes I think there's a strong thought you have to be affiliated to a political party. Now at town council level, although there are the three main parties, it's for most of us it is about doing the best for Felixstowe. So we've got some really good people, we've got some new blood in, and I think any organisation needs the blend of the experienced and the young blood. So if you are somebody who thinks actually I care about Felixstowe, speak to any of the town councillors. All their information is on the town council website, and speak to a few, get an idea, and if you think there's something you can do, then come and speak to people and try it out. The majority of the time it is incredibly rewarding. Obviously people criticise what you do, but that comes with the territory. But the majority of the time I'm working with really good people, really good communities, great charities, and it's quite rewarding.
And as you work through, if you decide then that you've got more time or whatever, you can move on and, in inverted commas, move up to the bigger councils.
You can, and one of the things that the districts have done, and county, is they have increased their allowances, and I know that came into some criticism, but in fact what they want to do is take account of people who want to do part-time, who can't afford not to work, who may have to pay for childcare if they're doing council commitments. So that's not about just lining the pocket as such, it's actually an allowance that allows people to come and work for a council. And the furloughing has been really essential for some councillors in the last year, and so we want people with a mixture of experiences and ages, and that helps people to be able to come and work for us.
One of the things we'll have to do with you at some point, Mr. Mayor, is actually get you to define for people what the different councils do, because for most people on the street it's not very clear.
No, it's not, and I think there'll be plenty of people who talk political speak,
right.
But at town council level we say it's about parks, cemeteries, and very little really, because we're reliant on the district council. Your districts are a lot of your services like waste, and the parks as well, but the highways and the adult and children services are county. So the big stuff is the county, and that's sometimes why the precept has to go up with them. We're more local services, so it's about community safety, it's about recycling at the district. We have a very green agenda this year. It's been really, really positive. So as I say, I'm always available, and I know all the councillors are. So if people want more information, come and speak to us first, and let us address those myths you might have.
Excellent. That'll do.
Is that right?
Kindly.
There you go. That was young Mark Jepson. My apologies for the technical issues. I know exactly what it was now. It was my fault, because let's be honest and say that nothing much isn't my fault, in fact, with this one. But that all worked jolly well, and there you go. So we will be doing more about local councils. We'll be covering that in considerably more detail, I hope, in the coming lives. And if you want to get involved and have a chat and say what you think about our local council and councillors, I'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is drop me a line and use the Facebook page. Get in touch and let's be hearing from you. Okay, if you like this show, give us a like. We will be back with the Felixstowe Live on Saturday and a week today on Wednesday. And if you've got anything interesting that you would like to say, if you've got an interesting story, I would love to hear from you. Don't forget, if you are thinking about starting a new business in our town centre, again, I'd love to hear from you. The more the merrier with that one, because there are going to be lots of vacant shops, as you can see, once COVID regulations lift somewhat and we can get more shops trading, but it's going to be a sticky time. And if you've got plans or would like to run a business in the town centre, I'd love to hear from you, to hear what you're doing. We won't publish anything without your agreement. And so get in touch and tell us what you're up to. Okay, I'm Chris. This is Felixstowe Live. It's been a slightly abbreviated show today because we're still working on more stories for the rest of the week. We will put up the Mayor's chat about becoming a councillor, or what the different councils do on its own, if you like, so that you can see that in more detail and see what you make of it. Okay, I'm Chris. This is Felixstowe Live, and I will, I think, see you soon.